Hey, what is going on, Monkey Pod universe? Had an interesting question pop up inside of our private community the other day and wanted to share it with you all in case it can help you solve a problem in your business. So, in this scenario, we were looking for a purchase to take place, but with sort of an unconventional payment structure. So, the initial payment was to be like a deposit, and then a few weeks later, or maybe 1 week later, the activation fee was charged. So the second half of that initial transaction. And then, after another delay, we wanted a recurring subscription to begin and to bill regularly moving forward. So we had one amount as the deposit, one amount as the activation fee, and then a recurring lower amount as the continuity program moving forward. And there are a few ways to solve this, but we did come up with an answer and we wanted to unpack it here in case it helps you as well. Check it out. I think what I would do is set up three different products, one for the deposit, one for the activation fee, and one for the 6 month or maybe it was 6 week subscription program. So I'm just going to use three different products that I have rather than create them. But for your use case, I would set up one product that's $497 for the deposit, one that's $497 for the activation fee, and then a subscription for the 6 payments of $997. And then the way that you can do this is building out the animation or automation to create this. So we'll call this deposit purchase automation. And basically, what you want to trigger this is the purchase of the deposit. So when they make the payment on the deposit. And so we can define this goal so that it is listening specifically for that product. I actually do have one called deposit, so we'll just use that. And then we're basically using that as a springboard to start the automation. And then in this sequence, you can use timers to control when you want those to take place. So we'll say, I think it was a week later for the activation fee. So wait, 1 week, run on any day of the week at, let's say, 4:30 in the morning, something like that. And then you could use the create order item here to bill the card that we have on file for them. So basically, you just would set this up for the activation fee. Again, I don't have a product for that one created, but let's just use this one. And we'll click add. There you go. And that would obviously be the product price, whatever you had, configured that product at. So mine is $50, but yours would be $497. Auto charge this order. And if there's no card, it'll create a balance. So we actually want this one, auto charge this order. And if no card is found, it could send the invoice. But the only way to get into this sequence would be making an initial payment. So they will have a card on file. So you don't have to worry about this part, although you can, in case their card expires or fails or whatever, you can, configure that. But we mark this as ready once it is configured. And then you can decide when you want to have the subscription payments start. So again, you can control how long you want it to delay. Maybe it's, one more week, maybe it's a month later. I'm not sure when those payments begin, but you would do the same process again with another create order. And instead of choosing a one-time product, this time you would choose a subscription. So whether it's monthly or weekly, you would have it set up in here. There you go. For whatever the amount is. So you define that as you're setting up the product itself, and then you just select the product here. And again, we can auto charge the order. It'll invoice them if there's no card on file or it can't process it. And then you mark this from draft to ready. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can relabel these. And that's it. If there's other automation you wanted to have happen in here, you certainly can. I believe when these orders are processed, they'll get an invoice or a receipt once the payment has been drawn to notify them. But you could include communication, letting them know that it's happening. You could apply tags, just indicating that their status has changed. You could create tasks if you need to reach out to them. Like what you do in here depends on the nature of the product or service you are selling. But this is how I think I would set this up. Things begin when the payment for the deposit is made, and then the automation is automatically going to draw the activation fee and start the subscription. However, after however much of a delay you need to take place. All right, and there you have it. There are, like we said, a handful of ways to solve this, but it can be done. So if you have a similar scenario in your business, hopefully there were some ideas to help you remove friction for your buyers and to make things as easy as possible for both them as well as for your team. Shout out to Melissa for asking this question in the private OG membership. If you would like a place to ask your own Keap or automation questions as they come up, you can check out or join the MonkeyPod membership at ogmembership.com. And thank you for watching this video. If it helped you, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, or share it with anyone you think it can serve. Take care. And just a fun fact for anybody who happens to have stuck around, I have been cutting my own hair since 2020. And until recently, I hadn't had any major issues. But as you might be noticing, when I dip my head, I did have a small gaff on my most recent haircut attempt. And so I'm working with a small range of mobility on my chin in order to keep that missing patch out of the frame.